Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. It's your girl Janine with Stephanie Reads. How are you doing? How are you doing? Check us out on Facebook, Stephanie Reads Ministry. You can always email us. We love questions. We love um, being able to, talk with you, just encourage you and inspire you. And we hope that you would do the same with us, encourage us and inspire us as well, and just be that community of inspiration for everyone. So I am outside, as you can see. I'm in my community center. I'm walking. I just got here, so I haven't been doing it for like 20 minutes or anything like that. Just, breathing in some of the fresh air. It's a little colder than normal out here, and it did do a little sprinkle, at least around here. This is Maryland. I'm in Maryland, Temple Hill, so it did a little sprinkle. So just have to be careful where you walk, because where the little, let me see if you can see that. Yeah, on the track where the little snow is pretty much where it's slippery, and you can literally, kind of slip and fall. So I'm being very cautious on that, and I know I'm crazy. I'm still walking on the track. I'm not gonna probably do as long as I normally do on the track. I probably will do, I don't know, maybe I'll try to go around 3 times and see how it goes. Yesterday when I came out on the track, and I did do it, but there was a fox. So I'm really cautious of, what's around me and everything. So that kind of scared me a little bit. But, it's okay. We make do with what we have and keep moving. So I'm walking. I did the reading before I left the house for January 18th, which that is today. And it pretty much says, let your light shine. And don't wait for anybody else to shine it for you. Let your light shine. And you don't have to wait for anybody else to shine the light for you. And that was interesting. I'm sorry, my hands are cold and I have no gloves, so I have to switch. I had to think. I was thinking about that on my way walking over here to the track, and I would say this: when I read the passage, I was like, okay, all right, and I would say you have to be who you are, the best person that you are. I have to be who I am and the best person that I know I am. And I believe in doing that and just being the best of who you are. Your light will shine. And it's not necessarily anyone's job to allow that to shine for you. You get what I'm saying? And I understand accolades in a way that, you know what, I'm a great worker, and I think at some point we all would like to be recognized for the good things that we do. You know what I mean? And in reality, does that always happen? No. I know for me, I've had jobs where pretty much I was, the inside person. So when the accolades were thrown, it wasn't coming my way. It went to my supervisor way, because they were the upper management and all of that. So, I would say that my job was to help them to shine. At least that's how I took it. But I think the way I'm taking this passage is this: you can only be the best that you can be for yourself. It has to start there. And I'm saying this to myself. It has to start there. If you are a generally happy-go-lucky, great person, be that for yourself. Be kind, be generous. All of that for yourself. And I believe that your light will shine. Because I believe if we be who we are, and who we are is our individual selves, but then I believe we also have that calling to be who God has called us to be. And I just believe that light will shine. And I've had people say, well, if I be who God calls me to be, then I'm not being me. And I beg to differ. Because being who you are, the individual that He's made you to be, if He's made you to be a preacher, and it's no prerequisite to, how a preacher should be in the sense of, your life's journey has brought you to this moment that you can shed light, bring people to Christ in such an dynamic way that is still being you, is still being who you are. If you're a jokester, I've heard many preachers who actually they're funny. They're funny. They can tell a joke and tell it really well, and you laugh, and they know how to bring that point home. So again, it's not losing yourself. I think it's finding yourself in the way that God made you to be who He is calling you to be. And I believe by you being your individual self, you're going to reach those people. And when I say those people who are going to gravitate to the way you deliver a message, to your life experiences, because it's probably closest to theirs. And the way maybe they didn't get it before when they heard it somewhere else, but the way you say it, the way you bring it home, the way you've lived your life helps them see it and opens their eyes. So, that light is shining, and I don't think it dims, and you don't have to wait for somebody else to say you're a superstar to be that superstar. And, and that's in whatever field you're in, you don't have to necessarily be, in the movies or anything like that. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my surroundings. So, I mean, that's the zhuzh that I took from today is, be who you are. And I think that shines through. And I think, you can be that without anyone having to bring light to it, because I think it brings light to itself. You know what I'm saying? Being that caring person that you are, I say continue to be that caring person, because you might not think nobody's paying attention, watching, listening, giving a crap care. But I'm going to tell you something. That person that maybe you're showing that love, that tenderness to, that whatever, that positive thinking where, whatever it is that you've shown them, they know. They see it. They appreciate it. They love it. Your light is shining. If you're a type person who, checks on everybody, and sometimes you feel like, what, no one's checking on me, don't stop being who you are, in hopes that somebody else is going to catch up to that. and, operate in what you do best, operate in it. And again, you might not think nobody notices, nobody cares, but it does make a difference. And it's just you being who you are. I remember when I was probably, I'm trying to think, how old was I? About, my grandmother, my mom's mom, had passed. So that would have made me around 12, maybe 12, 13, maybe a little younger, 11 at the least. And when she passed, we went to the funeral, everything. We had a limo that the family rode. Well, we had several limos because my mother's side of the family is absolutely huge. But, there was a limo that my mom, my dad, my brothers, and we were in. And I think maybe one other aunt might have been in that one. But we were in a limo. And I remember we were driving to where we were coming out of our neighborhood in D.C., Willow Road, and we were going to the funeral, and we were at a stoplight, and I remember looking out at the window, and there was this young woman. I did not know her. She was jogging, and she stopped dead at what she was doing, and she saw, the funeral procession, and she stopped jogging, and instantly, just right there on the side of the street, she put her hand up, and she did in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Trinity. And she did that. And she prayed for each car in that processional. And I could only say that she did that because it was maybe 4 cars in front of us. So we were the 5th car. And then we had some more cars behind us. And that stuck with me for all the days, as you can see, of my life, from that moment, that time, and that's probably just what she does, when she sees a funeral, to just take the time and pray for each person or each car of people. And that stuck with me. That was her being her, in my opinion. I didn't know her. She wasn't getting any accolades from us. We didn't know her, but it stuck with me because I paid attention to it. And to me, her light was shining in something so simple. And it wasn't about, I'm doing this because I want people to see, And in that moment, I felt comforted. I felt like, wow, someone who don't even know my family, doesn't even know who we're burying, took time out of her schedule to just pray for us in our time of need. That to me was amazing and a blessing. And to me, her light shone more than if she would have received an award. Her light was shining. And that was just her being who I believe her to be. And that's what she does. And it, again, she doesn't know that I'm looking. She doesn't know that I'm, a child or anything. Her light shines so bright. And to me, it always shines bright, Her light shine. And that's just her being who she is. And I have like thousands of stories that I tell from time to time of just seeing those examples of people just being who they are and not worried about what their circumstances are, what anybody else's circumstance. They're just being who they are. And to me, that, like I said, it stuck with me, and it taught me to be like, it doesn't matter, about anything. She was just being who she was, and I need to be who I am. And if that's what I do, I pray for people, then I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm not going to worry about if somebody else is going to be accepting and loving and like, oh, she deserves all the highest praise for doing that, I believe, that's just what God called me to do. And I need to work in that and be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And your light can shine too, whether it's at work. Because, it doesn't have to be something that's happening in the church. It could be outside the church. My husband, before he was my husband, he was, the funny part is when he tells the stories, I said, I actually remember, and I probably may have been on a train with him, in the past and just didn't know who he was. But he was a train hopper minister. Yeah, he would get on the trains and he would give a word, and, you had those who accepted it and so those who was like, oh, you can't do that, out in public, blah, 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 but he would go with his Bible and he would hop on trains and just give a word. That's, and if you ever meet my husband, then you will see that that's just his personality and that is just him. And even in that, he was kicked off many trains and told that he couldn't do that. But that was just him. And I believe his light was just shining, He wasn't afraid of people saying, oh my God, you can't do that. I don't want to hear that. He wasn't afraid. And to me, his light shined because of that. And I think it hit people who were okay with that. And that was just him being who he was. And that was fearless in my point, because I said, I just don't think I'm there in my walk. But I was more than likely young. We're like 16 years apart, so I was probably young when that was happening. But again, that's just him being who he is, and his light shone, and it wasn't in the workplace. That was his space. That's what he chose to do, is to reach out to people while on the subway, on the way to work. They're sitting there, where they're going, and if it's for them to receive it, then they receive it, and if it's not, then it's not, then they don't. It's as simple as that. And so, again, I believed his light shone, and it left a definite impression on those who witnessed it, seen it for themselves. And his light just shone. He was still being who he is, and it just shone bright. So again, I'm just whatever, at work. Let your light shine. If you're really good at doing something, don't stop doing it because you want people to recognize that that's what you're good at. Do it because that's who you are, and that's the way you're going to do it. And I'm going to tell you, your light is shining. And that's the whole thing. Your light is shining. It's not about someone else shining it for you. It's your light is shining anyway, and okay, I'm coming out of I don't know how many times I walked around today, but anywho, I'm going to do something different, and I'm going to go walk to my mom's house. Let me see where I'm at. So I'm beeping over here. Sorry. Yeah, so sorry about that. I was looking. My watch was beeping, and I couldn't figure out why I was beeping. So I walked around there for, I don't know, for as long as I probably did this video. So now I'm going to walk to mommy's house. But anyway, and at work, whatever that is, your light is shining. And you don't have to wait for someone to shine it for you. You don't have to stop being who you are, because you feel like no one recognizes. Because I'm going to tell you now, I might not recognize, other people may not recognize, but you know who really recognizes everything and understands what you're doing, and it doesn't go unnoticed? That's God. And that's the absolute truth. So, and that's the absolute truth, and He will reward. He will reward in His due time, but He will reward, I think we sometimes just wait for the reward here on earth, and sometimes that reward may not come until heaven. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm just saying, your light can still shine. And I think it shines just so bright when you are just doing what you do and how good you are at doing it. And it touches people even when you don't think it's touching people. You're touching people, So let your light shine. And how you let your light shine is just continue to be who you are, unapologetically who you are. And do the things that you're good at, and continue to be who you are, because your light is shining. And when your light is shining, that means to me, someone down the road has taken notice. And it doesn't have to be in her, and it might not be like, I just wish, it touches people personally and deeply. And, you might not even find out that you ever touched anyone until later on in life, or you may never find out. I don't know. But just again, your light is shining by being just who you are. Simply being who you are. Being who God has called you to be. And don't ever forget that. So if you would like to join us on our little ride, visit us on Facebook at SRM. That's Symphony Reads with an S, READS Ministry, SRM. And like us on Facebook, and join the conversations. We try to put stuff out there, and have a comment, comment. And we have a prayer group as well. So if you reach out and let me know that you are interested and want to join, I'm more than happy to, allow you, to make sure to accept your membership into the prayer group. And that's just a safe place where people can say, hey, look, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm going through. And I would like you to pray with me. The good things. I need some extra hands praying for me. And that's what we do. We pray. And, so that's the other thing. And we hope to have some other things later on that will happen. And of course, I'll always let you guys know what those things are. And I'm going to cross the street here. So, love you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow, January 19th, Sunday, for our word of positivity, our word of inspiration, motivation for the day. And always comment. Let me know if you got something different. That's what makes the world go round. So peace and blessings to you all. And see you tomorrow. Bye.